Today I'm going to make a fresh basil pesto recipe that I got from simplyrecipes.com. I've been making it for years, and this piece of paper has seen better days because I printed it a few years ago and obviously used it every time I make pesto. So what I normally do is go outside with a grocery bag and I just take off a bunch of leaves from the basil plant. And in the summertime, this is the best to do it because obviously you have the best yield of basil leaves, and buying basil leaves from the grocery store can get costly, especially if you're making big quantities of basil pesto. So I take the basil leaves and stick them in a colander and then rinse them off. It's recommended not to have stems and other things in there, so I do my best to remove those. Other things being, well, bugs and dirt and stuff. But of course, like the buds, if you let basil go too long, that you can get buds on it, meaning flowers. So then I'm not going to want the basil wet, so I'm going to put it in a salad spinner to get the excess water off of it. I've got a good quantity of the basil that I picked last night in my salad spinner. It's been rinsed, and now I will just spin it. Okay, so I've spun it, and I wanted to show you the excess water that I got from spinning it, which wasn't much because what I also like to do before I put it in the spinner itself, because it's all going to be mushed down anyway, so I like to take a big handful and just squeeze the water out that way. So that's another way to do it if you don't have a salad spinner. And you don't necessarily need to get the water out of it, it just makes for a better consistency and more of a potent flavor for the basil pesto. Now you're going to want to grab whatever food processor you have. Mine's a Cuisinart. It's I think a 7-cup or 7-quart, I don't know, processor. I'll include a link to it in the description of this video in case you're looking to buy one and you like this one. And I'm just going to follow the ingredients on this list, and I will include a list of these ingredients in the description of this video. The first ingredient is 2 cups of basil leaves, and it says to pack them. So that's 1 cup. And I will add the other cup. And there's the 2nd cup. The next ingredient is a 1/2 cup of freshly grated Romano, or Parmesan or Romano cheese. I picked up Romano at the store yesterday, and I picked up Parmesan, so I'm going to do 1/2 and 1/2. So that's the Romano, and this is the Parmesan. They didn't have Parmesan in grated, so I just got it in shredded because honestly, it's all going to go, all going to be moved together when it's in the Cuisinart anyway. So that's a 1/2 cup of the Romano, and then we'll do a 1/2 cup of the Parmesan, which is kind of hard to, or not a 1/2 cup, but a 1/4 cup, because 1/4 and 1/4 is a 1/2. So we've got 1/4 cup of Parmesan, a 1/4 cup of Romano, and now we need a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So I've already added a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Here's the other 1/4 cup to make it 1/2 total. And I just use this olive oil that I end up getting for free at CVS because I'm a crazy couponer. And I'll include a link to my guide in this video as well if you're interested in knowing how you can get something like this for free. And then Walnuts or pine nuts are next, and 1/3 of a cup is called for in this recipe. I'm going to use walnuts because I'm on a budget and walnuts are cheaper than pine nuts, but one of the good things about living in the United States is if you have access to a Costco, for example, that's a really good place to get pine nuts. They come in a huge bag rather than like the tiny jar that you get at the grocery store, and they only cost around 20 bucks, whereas they cost close to 10 at the grocery store. The last ingredient is 3 medium-sized garlic cloves minced. I just used the already minced garlic that you can buy at the store, and I literally just measure out what I think might be right. That's probably more than 3 cloves. In fact, I'm sure it is, but I like garlic so much that that's okay by me. Then I just put the lid on and I slowly pulse it until it gets to the consistency that I want. You can also just turn it on, let the Cuisinart do its thing. And then all you're going to do after that is use salt and ground pepper to taste. I like to make a lot of basil at once, or lots of basil pesto at once, because I don't like to clean the Cuisinart very often. So what I try to do is make a lot at once so that I can just freeze it and use it in recipes. So one of the ways that I freeze it is with these little bowls that I purchased at Target. They're actually just Gerber baby food bowls, and they come with lids, so I dispense them into these containers and then just freeze the containers, and then all you have to do is defrost them to use them, and it takes nothing to defrost them. Here's one of the lids. It comes with the Gerber bowls, and it fits on there perfectly. Another suggestion is if you ever get carryout and they give you containers, keep them and put them in here instead. I always run these through the dishwasher and then keep the containers separately until I have basil pesto to put into them. So I'm going to load these with pesto and show you what it looks like. So that little batch made enough for me to fill these 2 containers. And one of the important things when you freeze something is you want to get enough air out of them as you can. So I usually, like for example on the restaurant container that I have, I will put this on there and then lift it up enough to squeeze out a little bit more air, and as you can see it reduced down. I'm going to make another batch, probably add more to these containers to make them completely full. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel where we feature recipes that are good for you all the time. Thanks so much for watching. Before I go, I wanted to show you that out of the basically plastic shopping bag of basil leaves, I got the following amount of pesto, and so I'm going to freeze all of this, and then I'll just take them out one by one when I need them. I might save one to put in the refrigerator for now because it's really good on top of, like if you did a Napoleon of tomato, portobello mushroom, mozzarella cheese, or you could sub avocado and you put a dab of this on top. Yummy. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.